Hello everybody, this is Iced Blood. Welcome back to World of Warcraft. Okay, so one of these days I'm gonna get used to this steady schedule thing. I'm not gonna get into the details slash excuses as to why I haven't been uploading for a little bit, but let's just get back into it. I said in an earlier video, my goal with this series is to hopefully get Miss Kleinne here to level 90 before the new expansion hits, which, remember, for those playing the home game, that is the 13th of November. So we're just about at the 2-month mark. So we've got 2 months to get, what are we at? 14, about, Klein, where are, there you are. Okay, let's see, we're almost around 14 and a half. So we're looking at about 74 and a half levels. In 2 months. We might still be able to work that out. For now, though, let's keep the far-off goals out of our minds for just a moment. We have a world tree to save. This is going to be the end, just about, of the Teldrassil quest lines. So, after these 2 quests we have here, so we have the final moon well to visit to fill the tourmaline file, and then we have to kill Oakenscowl, the source of corruption for the Timberlings. I always want to say Timberlake when I say that. Anyway, so we got to kill Oakenscowl. Remember the buttons. Frost Nova does no good when there's nothing nearby. And we're going to finish this up, because after these 2 quests, we're going to have a couple follow-ups, I think, and then it's going to lead us into the next area, I believe. Blizzard's gotten pretty good at leading us into new areas as our quest lines finish up. And generally speaking, it's good at keeping the level ranges where they need to be. We're a bit ahead of where we're quote-unquote supposed to be, just based on the fact that we're getting about 45% extra experience, or at least 40, something around there, because of the heirloom gear that Kleinne has. So she has a bit of a leg up in terms of that. So she's a bit further along than she should be. But generally speaking, that's a good thing. That means that we shouldn't have, damn it, I was gonna say we shouldn't have any issues dealing with any enemies as we go along, which will be nice, because I think I've mentioned before, you know, I don't really know my way around this class. So then again, you know, it's funny that I mentioned that, and like, oh, it's a good thing we have all the heirloom gear, because then I won't have any trouble. But really, it might actually end up being a bit of an issue, because I won't have to deal with many challenges, to be honest. The enemies that we're going to be fighting won't be all that difficult, so it might not be a good way to learn. So I guess we'll see what happens. The game takes a rather serious spike in difficulty right around Pandaria, actually. So once we hit level 85 and we go into Pandaria to get to 90, damn it, you can tell it's been a little while. I'm forgetting my buttons. I've been playing a lot of Diablo 3 lately, actually, so I'm used to those buttons doing something else. But anyway, yeah, the game takes a spike in difficulty in the Pandaria content, so I guess we're going to find out, actually maybe a little bit sooner than that even, because our heirlooms won't actually be all that effective, most of them anyway, once we hit 80 and we go into the Cataclysm content. So I guess we'll find out if we do reach that point in the near future, whether or not I'll have learned enough in this leveling experience to really kind of take this mage up to endgame. So we'll find out. But anyway, let's see here. Now, with these guys, I don't think I'm getting, well, we might be getting some. It's really kind of difficult to tell whether or not it's worth it to kill monsters when they're such lower level than we are. Because we're right on the cusp with a lot of these guys of getting no experience whatsoever. Like that one, he's 9. I think he's still green. Honestly, yeah, he's still green. Okay, I couldn't quite tell my screen. Maybe I should clean my screen. Anyway, yeah, so he's still getting us a little bit of experience, but honestly not that much. So this is kind of what I was talking about before. where we didn't want to... Hey, Oakenscowl, you're green too. Remember when I was talking about how we don't want to let our skinning go down too far behind where we are, because then we might reach a point where we won't be able to skin anything that we're killing. The opposite can also be an issue where the enemies we need to kill in order to get skinning levels won't give us any experience. But that's not too big of a deal. We can deal with that because, I mean, honestly, we're still getting plenty of experience. And honestly, if we're killing a bunch of monsters, you know, grinding for leather, it might kind of, I guess it won't counterbalance anything in particular, but I think it won't be that much of an issue. If we do run into it, you know what I might do? Here's what I might do. After this episode, before I start recording the next episode, you know, for quest progression and everything, maybe what I'll do is off camera, I'll go around and skin enough night sabers to get our skinning up to where it should be. That way we won't have to worry about it. Because like I think I said, I wanted to record pretty much everything involved in progression. I didn't want it to be a situation where it's really heavily edited so you don't actually end up seeing the actual leveling experience. Now, you could call that lazy because, oh, I don't want to edit my videos. But really, the point of that is, this is a full-on experience that I want everyone to see. Because there's a lot here, and there's a lot of little things that you might miss if I end up doing a lot of editing. So anyway, Denelin, how are you doing? Yes, we found Oakenscowl. Here's his gargantuan tumor. I knew you were more than capable of ridding the lake of that horrible beast. It's a distressing situation. Oakenscowl was once a grand leader amongst his kind. But corruption does not discriminate between the lowly and the noble. The size of this tumor is quite disturbing, but I must study it to learn more about the disease that upsets the timberling population. Thank you. And for that, we will get ourselves our first magic belt. Magic belt! Let's put on the magic belt. Won't give us too much of a difference. Won't really matter, because honestly, that one intellect, whatever. Our gear kind of makes up for anything. We won't really need to worry about gear for any particular reason until we hit level 80. But yeah, what I was saying before we ran into Denelin is there's a lot of little things that you might miss if I end up doing a lot of editing. They can say, well, then just don't edit those parts out. But I don't know what might be worthwhile for you guys. You know, you might be new players, you might be starting a series, you might be starting a playthrough along with me. I don't know. I don't know what you guys want out of this. So, you know, if you guys want me to do a bit more editing to kind of speed along the process, you know, let me know. I can certainly do that. My current plan, though, is to keep this as pure as possible. I want to show as much as I can about this game that I love so much, because not just the storytelling, not just the story, but really the graphics themselves, the world themselves, they tell a story too, and I want you guys to see everything, including my horrendous failure of using the wrong spell at the wrong time. Now here's an example of what I was talking about, because these guys, they're level 8, level 7, they are not giving us any experience whatsoever. They are very low level, so you know, that's where I'm gonna run into an issue. So like I said, I think I'm gonna grind out some leatherworking levels, or not leatherworking, they're skinning. Some skinning levels before we get into the next episode. But for now, we're gonna finish up the quest line. So we need to find ourselves that last moon well, and in the meantime, we'll pick up flowers because Kleinne likes to do that. And actually, herbalism, which is quite the opposite situation that we have, because it's actually at a pretty good level. What is that? We just got our 60th level in herbalism. And really, if you look down at the experience bar down there, we're getting about half a bar per herb. So I mean, there's a lot of viability in just picking up herbs. You can do that instead of killing monsters, to be honest. It would still work out alright. So we kind of get the opposite effect here, where and that's probably why herbalism is higher, because whereas depending on the area in this zone we go, we might not run into beasts. We're always running into herbs. No matter what part of the zone we're in, we're going to run into herbs. So that actually is a lot easier thing to deal with. My hope, on another level, but kind of tied into this because I'm talking about all this experience and stuff. My hope with this series is to at the very least, get one level per video. Okay, right now that's kind of my goal. Now that might become a lot harder for me to do as we get later on because levels become so much harder to get. We're talking millions of experience, but for now we're gonna do one level. Let's see, in weeks past, all those living top Teldrassil found their memories blurry. Huh. Let's sit down. We break from this haze to find that Fandral Staghelm and many of his closest followers have disappeared. But in his place, Shandow Stormrage awoke from the dream. Shandow Stormrage, my man. Very nice. With his return came Alexstrasza and Ysera to at long last offer their blessings upon Teldrassil. Okay, so the dragon aspects came back. Nice. Small corruption lingers, desperately longing to be cleansed. The boughs of Teldrassil seem changed. None know what to expect next, but with Malfurion and Tyrande reunited, new hope, hope for a lasting relief from the shadows been cast on our people for so long. Okay, so we're kind of, this is stuff we've seen before. You know, we've heard that, Malfurion Stormrage has returned, yay! And he and Tyrande, they're the two Night Elf leaders. They kind of represent the archetypical Night Elf trajectory, I guess I'd say, because Malfurion's a druid, and Tyranda's a priestess, and that's kind of a glimpse into standard gender roles in Night Elf society, because it doesn't matter what society you're in, there will always be traditional gender roles. And in the case of the Night Elves, what we have is females tend to be priestesses, so women end up going into training to be priestesses, and men end up druids. Terrandrilla, it's good to see you again. I see you succeeded in collecting the waters of moon whales on behalf of Kerithros Moonrage. I hope that you've learned much along the way. Well, indeed, I've spoken to Kerithros on my way here, and he's gifted me with the waters you've been gathering. They may well prove useful sooner than we'd imagined. Strangely, the growing corruption we've felt is actually a good sign. Teldrassil's been burdened with this taint for a long time, and thanks to the blessing of the dragon aspects, only now is it coming to the surface in a form that we might strike against. Teldrassil purges itself of the corruption, as Teldrassil purges itself of the corruption that has perverted its growth for all these years. A malevolent growth is formed near the tree's edge south of here. We have an opportunity to strike out and purge the source of the fell moss that has tainted the gnarl pine, the timberlings, and everything else. With the water that you've collected from the moon wells and the renewed strength of Teldrassil herself, I can grant you great power for a short while. Put an end to this corruption. If you're in toward the remains of Xavius from Teldrassil, Dying World Tree, Alun's champion. Hey, we're Alun's champion, are we? I like that. Okay, so this is our first almost experience with vehicles. And this is actually pretty new. I haven't done this full quest line. So we have been gifted with the powers of Alun, a lot of moon-based powers. Those icons look like they're from druid spells. Can we pick this up? Let's see. We'll move while channeling. Okay, that's kind of nice. Hey, explore Teldrassil. Sweet. Okay, what do we got? That could be useful, but we'll go with that one because we're... Damn it. We're in combat. Okay, fine. Anyway, I think I said those icons look like druid spells, so we're dealing with moon power. Moon power! Maybe you could call it even moon rage! Anyway, I had to get that out of the way because, you know, Terrandrella didn't use his name the way that I do, so I had to get, I had to make up for lost time. Anyway, so as you can see, we're dealing with quite a bit of power here. Issue being that cooldown is not all that. I mean, I guess it's short technically, but there we go. Okay, and we can't access our new spell because we are stuck with these spells that we've been gifted with. So that's why I say it's almost like a vehicle. It's not quite, because vehicles were added in, I think, in Cataclysm. I could be completely wrong. I don't remember. No, I think it was Wrath. I think Wrath the Lich King introduced vehicles. And they're kind of an interesting way. You know, you get new abilities, maybe you move faster, some other effect that's really useful. In this case, we're not dealing with an actual vehicle in the sense that nothing changed about our movement. It's just we have different moves that we can use. So that makes these guys very easy to deal with when the spells are active. Unfortunately, when our third spell there is unavailable, we have some amount of trouble actually killing these guys because the other two don't technically attack, I believe. Anyway, we'll still pick up flowers. I know we're busy, but look at all the herbs. Look at all those little golden dots on the minimap. We have to get all those. Yeah, this is a new quest line for me. I haven't actually done this, so this is already getting pretty interesting, for me at least. Hopefully, it's interesting to you guys to see how the storyline. If I see, we're already, I mean, we're level 15. Yeah, we got 15. We just got our new talent. So yeah, we're level 15, so not all that high, because remember, max level is 90, so, you know, we still have 75 levels to go, but we're only 15, we're already kind of doing important shit. Like, we're already proving herself, we're proving herself to be a hero. Like, we're already doing important stuff, so, like, I feel like that's the essence of good storytelling in a game. If it can make you feel important, if it can make you feel like a hero, if it can make you feel powerful, make you a part of it, that's the key. That's the important part of it. You know, and there are a lot of games that can do that really well. And honestly, I feel like WoW has gotten better at this. Because, I mean, in the beginning, in vanilla, a lot of the quests were kind of generic. It was all kind of the same stuff. But the thing is, we're dealing with the same similar generic sorts of quests that we deal with in the early game. A lot of MMOs have quests like these. Kill these things, collect these things, go to this guy, do that. Like, all the same stuff we tend to find. The difference is, and this is why it's important to read the quest text, what gives you the sense of importance, what gives you the sense of story is to actually listen or read, in this case, why we're doing those generic things. Why are we killing these night sabers? Well, it's because the population's too dense, and if we don't, then the whole balance of nature's out of whack. Why are we going to these moon wells? Well, it's to learn about the history of our people, so we don't make the same mistakes that they have. Why are we going in with these new spells and killing this thing? Well, this is the last part, this is the last piece of corruption in Teldrassil, and if we get rid of it, then this land can finally start to heal, and our people can finally start to move on. Like, these are important things in the context of this universe, and we're a part of them. And the thing about a lot of MMOs is their quests tend to feel generic because they have to. We're dealing with a world that has thousands of important heroes going on. So how can you strike the balance of making things feel important, making you feel like the things you're doing are important, while still making room for all the thousands of other heroes and not, you know, ignoring them? Because, I mean, some quests can do that, like the other MMO that I've done on this channel so far, Final Fantasy XIV. A lot of its stories feel very singular, and yet there are still a lot of other heroes going on, so it doesn't quite make sense. It's like, why am I so special? What about all these hundreds of other people? You know? So I think WoW does a good balance here because it's been around so long. It has that history. It knows what to do. I feel like Blizzard really does know what to do in that case. So it strikes a good balance. It's talking about how, you know, yeah, we're new, you know, and the world needs a lot of new recruits to kind of, you know, take up the hero's mantle. And yet, it still manages to make it feel like what we're doing is singularly important. Now, this is all just my conjecture, okay? So, you know, you guys might disagree, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that's the kind of thing that I'm getting out of the game, and it's why I appreciate it. Because if the game can make me feel like what I'm doing is important, well, then I feel like the story is worth telling, because this is like a choose-your-own-adventure book, right? We are the hero. We are in direct control of the hero. And because of that, it is important to make us feel. This isn't like, oh, I need to feel important somewhere because I don't feel important in real life. That's not the kind of bullshit that I'm dealing with, you know. We're not talking about MMO, you know, basement dweller cliches here. We're just talking about the type of storytelling we have here, because this is basically a choose your own adventure. We go our own path, we do our own thing, we do whatever we want. We are in direct control of the protagonist, and in that sense, we are the protagonist. So, in a kind of story where we're dealing with that kind of trajectory, what is it? How do we feel immersed? How do we feel like a part of it? Well, we need to feel important. We need to feel like the characters in the world know that we're here. You know, that's what leads to the immersion here. So that's basically all I was talking about there. So that's what I'm trying to show you guys. That's what this series is all about. You know, hey, we can walk on water. Nice. Is that... Anyway. And Loon be praised. Everything I had encountered suggested this corruption to be buried deep within Teldrassil itself. I had worried we might never be able to strike at the source without killing the World Tree. I am thankful I was wrong. Malfurion was the start to this great turn of fortune. Perhaps I'll seek him out before I depart to the wilds again. Thank you, Kleinne. Thank you for everything you've done. You are sure to be a great hero someday. Alrighty then, well there we go. We finished up this one, so let's grab ourselves some bracers and our tasks are done here for now. This water proved to be of great importance, but it wasn't originally meant for me. Go ahead and bring it back to Carithris at the crossroads. I'm sure he'd like you to deliver it to its original destination. Okay then, so here we have the final bit of this questline. Let's go back to Moonrage and see where he wants us to go with the last of this water. Hey, a Pandaren. Hello, Pandaren. I love the Pandaren. I think they're amazing, and anyone who think this is, you know, I told everybody, oh, you know, I don't want to say that you're wrong if you have different opinions from me, but if you think the Pandaren are stupid, we can't be friends. I don't appreciate you, and I hope you go away. I'm only slightly kidding. I love the Pandaren. I think they were an amazing addition to the lore, and I do not agree with the idea that they've somehow dumbed down the game at all. That's a common opinion for a lot of people, you know, on message boards and you know, panels and stuff like that. They talk about how, oh, the Pandaren, I don't like, you know, the giant panda men. They're stupid. I don't want to deal with them. Oh, they only did it because of Kung Fu Panda. That's all bullshit. They're awesome, and the only reason you don't love them is because you haven't been paying attention. Again, only slightly kidding. Yeah, Pandaren are awesome. Maybe I'll, maybe at some point in this series, well, we'll definitely see plenty of Pandaren when we go to Pandaria, but maybe I'll play one at some point. Moonrage! It's good to see you again. I sense that Teldrassil's task went smoothly with you by her side. Field vessel! Thank you for returning to me so swiftly. I have but one last task to ask of you. Shall we? Sure thing, Moonrage. Let's see. Which one's worth the most? That one. It's been an undeniable honor to have met you. You're a testament to the nobility of your race. Go now and finish this final task. Take the waters to Tyrande Whisperwind in Darnassus. Alright, so we're visiting Darnassus again. This time to speak with the leader of our people. Or at least one of them. And actually, see, this is what I'm talking about. When I was talking about how Blizzard does a good job of, like, getting us in the right position with these quests. Like, this isn't about leveling or experience, like, oh, we're at the right level to move on now, because actually we really are. We're ready to move on to the next zone. We're more than ready, actually. I mean, look at that. We're 15 and a half, so we've gotten a full level just in these handful of quests here. But what I mean is, like, we need to go to Darnassus now. Well, guess what? We're right at its doorstep now that we finished. So I kind of like the way that they kind of have kind of a what am I going to call it? I'm thinking of like a breadcrumb approach, right? Like Hansel and Gretel. Like you have this thing where you take the quest from here, you go over to this area and do it, then you turn it in, and it kind of makes you slowly go to the next area that you need to go. You know. So anyway, I liked that. I thought that was cool. Anyway, we're in Darnassus, so now we need to find where Tyrande is located. In the temple. Well, isn't that convenient, considering she's the High Priestess of Elune, I believe. I'm not sure if that's her title. I know that she is the leader of the priestesses in Darnassus. That's kind of her thing. And like I said, traditional gender roles. Tyrande is the High Priestess, and Malfurion, her husband, lover, consort, I don't know what word you'd end up using, I'm not sure if they're technically married, but he is the Archdruid, so they represent the pinnacle in each their own way of Night Elf societal norms in terms of career. You know, if you're going to be a night elf, typically you'd want to either be a priestess or a druid. Now, obviously, you can switch because there can be female druids, druidesses, and then there can be male priests. So it's not like they're exclusive. But the lore does say that that's only a recent thing. You know, it's very recent that men have been able to become priests and women have been able to be druids. So it's a relatively new social construct that I don't think they've gotten used to yet. So, portals, that one looks like it's to Outland. And probably Northrend. Maybe Pandaria, I'm not sure. In any case, let's go up here then. And looks like there's another quest we could pick up. We're not going to do that just now. We're going to get this done and finish up this quest line, and then we'll save the rest for next time. So let's see. Where are you, my leaders? There you are, up there. There we go. Alrighty. Let's go see what they're up to. I like the music here. It's all like wispy and ethereal. Hey, you're tall.
I heed the voice of the
How fare you, young one? I'm sorry, you're just way too tall. Ah, the blessed waters of our moonwells. You've borne witness to the spirit of the Teldrassil, then? In recent times, I've come to find that the spirit offers more questions than it does answers, but such is the continuing nature of discovery that drives us in our darkest hours. I will offer you the simplest answers that I can. Malfurion has returned to us, but harsh times are yet upon us. Stackhelm is gone, and the world is racked with pain. Malfurion has much to mend, and he will need help. Well, I can offer that help, because I'm a badass. Alright, well, looks like that's it for now. We'll pick up that new quest right there next time, and we'll see where that leads us. But for now, oh, Malfurion's badass. Look at those wings. Come on. Anyway, we're gonna say goodbye to Kleinne. So, later. Bye-bye. And I'll see you next time. Alright, later.